What does it mean to end notes skillfully? The component of sound or notes that we're talking about today is the transition, the very end of the note. And a lot of magic happens here. You've heard the expression mic drop, or nail in a coffin, or the straw that broke the camel's back. Endings are extremely important, psychologically and emotionally. And since music is for and by humans, we need to pay very close attention as artists to the endings of our notes and phrases, the way that they transition either into the next note or into silence. I want you to ask yourself, what is your default way of ending a note? What's the shape? Do you just stop? Do you end it with your tongue? Do you breathe in? There's physical ways to end a note, and they sound different. When is the transition portion of the note happening anyway? It's when the note's body portion is basically complete and this note is starting to think about going into the next thing, whether that's silence or the next note. So as soon as the note is leading into the next thing, that's the transition portion. Do you remember what my teacher, Mikhail Holzel, said to always bring to the horn? Bring your own acoustic. What does that really mean? We all know that horn sounds glorious in a concert hall. It can sound less glorious in dead, dry spaces. But whether you're playing in the concert hall or not, taper the ends of your notes. That's going to be the most satisfying default way to end notes. Going all the way to the end should be an artistic decision. Cutting it off with the tongue should be an artistic decision that you do for a good reason. Otherwise, think of most notes as bong, like you're striking a bell. It's a very pleasing sound that there's a decay to it. Some challenges come up around this though. What do you think is the number one challenge that players have with sounding good and having a beautiful decay? If you guessed pitch, you are correct. It's very easy to go sharp or flat when you're ending notes with a decay because the airstream is changing. The solution is easy. Listen. I've got an experience for you to try right now to prove that listening is enough to guide your pitch. What I want you to do is just sing any comfortable pitch, but don't pay attention to maintaining the pitch in any sort of way. Don't really even listen closely or guide it or anything. Just Just put air through your vocal cords. Then, what I want you to do is put air through your vocal cords and try and maintain the pitch by managing the tightness and tension of your vocal cords and your airstream. And now what I want you to do is I want you to use your ear to simply guide the pitch. Hopefully you found that using your ear to guide the sound is, first of all, enough to ensure that the pitch self-maintains within adequate parameters. And second of all, that the tone and the actual sound quality was much nicer when you listened to it. How have humans managed to sing for millennia? Natural singing simply involves being present with the sound that's coming out and guiding it. It does not require excess conscious manipulation of the tissues or the mechanics of the voice. You simply sing and guide the pitch using your ear to listen and create a feedback loop of correction and maintenance of the pitch. It's the same thing with horn. So let's go ahead and just play a note and listen to it, and don't try and keep the pitch steady at all. Now, play the note and try and keep the pitch steady by stabilizing your embouchure and making sure your air is stable. Okay, great. And now, play a pitch and simply stabilize it by using your ear. That's the idea. Use your ear to guide the transition of notes. That doesn't mean you don't have to practice it. You might really suck at it at first, but you're going to suck less and make faster progress if you use your ear to guide the sound rather than trying to manipulate your mechanics. Let's think about this in the context of your calibration and your two licks, your pirate and your love music. Say you're playing calibration A, and you've got these first 5 notes. Dum, 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 with the crescendo. Each one of those is going to have a transition into the next note. And since these are designed to have a little bit of space between the notes, you're really transitioning into a very small moment of silence between the notes. How do you want those shapes to look? Do you want them to be square? Do you want a little bit of taper? Do you want a lot of taper? How does the crescendo release into the next note? These are questions to engage your artistic mind. And it's really even just scratching the surface. Right now, we're playing with sound as an abstract medium. Later on, we're going to be talking about using imagery and stories and emotions to guide and inform how your fronts, bodies, and transitions really come out and sparkle with magic. But for now, simply think about making pleasing transitions with each note. Sometimes it can help to start with making unpleasing transitions. That might sound like this. Let's think about your love music. For sure is going to have some really nice transitions at the end of a phrase, probably. Mine is this. A very helpful way to begin to control your transitions is by using subdivisions. Pat Hughes talks about this in his interview for this course. So if you're playing, for example, you might instead think, and on the very last 16th note, you're thinking about coordinating, keeping the note really stable until the very last moment when it slurs, dun 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 dun, off. What's that sound like? That kind of gives it quite metered. You can also have it be more that'll give it a feeling. And if you just think about it as tapering quarter notes rather than dum ba dum ba dum. That's bum, 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 bum. You can even get super fancy and abstract and treat the whole thing as a dotted whole note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beats, and try and get 1, 4, 5, 6 like that. Different shape and transition, not as micromanagey. There are as many ways to transition as there are musicians and musical moments. There's a poster attached to this lesson of 40 different inspiring metaphors for transitions. I suggest you go through that poster and you try every single one on the same note. 40 notes played completely differently. You'll be able to say I end notes skillfully. Today's tone builder is really great for developing your transitions because we're doing crescendo and diminuendo. So you can really feel that the body of the note has some movement to it, but then that very end is a really special opportunity to taper into silence. As you taper into silence, be aware that the process does not finish the moment that silence happens. You're transitioning into a mental and emotional atmosphere as well. Just like it's important to play in the center of notes from your emotional and psychological center, so too do we want to transition into a head space and a heart space that is warm, welcoming, positive, objective, if we're going to be doing any reflection. So notice what happens as you transition out of a note and into silence. What kind of headspace are you transitioning into as well? Finally, a little bit of special homework today. Go get a sheet of paper and begin to write your affirmations on it. We have 3 so far. I listen to my sound, I play centered, and I end notes skillfully. Write them down, contemplate them, read them out loud, and allow this sheet to grow each day as you take on more and more positive beliefs and understandings about how to produce a beautiful, authentic sound.